Welcome to another Incubate Q&A show. Today we're going to go over the questions and answers we have received about the Canada Provincial Nominee Program. We usually receive emails from various clients from all over the world, and then we take the most common questions that keep getting asked over and over, and we clarify them for our audience to ensure that the right answers are provided, which then in turn assist our clients to make the right decisions as they select the immigration path that they're interested in so that they can come into Canada through the various programs available. So, the Canada PNP program is a specific program available through various ways, whether it is through the express entry online system or even approaching the province or each province directly. We have received various questions related to the program itself, the process, and all that. So we will go through these questions and find out what is PNP all about. The first question we received is the following. What does PNP stand for and what does it mean? So PNP stands for Provincial Nominee Program. It is a program that is available in specific provinces where the Government of Canada signed an agreement with that province, allowing them to make a selection of their own candidates based on their local requirements in that province from an economical perspective, meaning a specific province would like to enhance a specific sector. They need more skilled workers to come into a specific location, or if they want investments or business owners to come in and do a local investment for them based on different requirements for that program. So PNP is on a province level, it's not a federal level, which leads us to the second question that was asked. So what's the difference between a PNP program and a federal program? A PNP program is on a provincial level. The federal program or a federal program is on a countrywide level, meaning the federal skilled worker, key point here is federal, is a program available through the CIC office or the Citizenship and Immigration Canada office that is offered throughout the whole entire country, one system that's unified throughout the whole entire process. So the selection of the candidates and also the approval comes in from CIC. The PNP process or the PNP level application that would go in, the selection of the candidates happens on the provincial level. After that, the person has to go through CIC to get the final approval based on the federal regulations for the admissibility aspect of things. So the province selects the candidate based on the requirements of the program that the candidates applied under, and then after that candidate gets selected and nominated, they can go ahead and complete their process through the CIC federal level and get the final approval for the application to submit it for them to be able to become admissible to Canada and continue their journey here. The next question that we received: what kind of immigration schemes are included or are available under PNP? So here you need to start thinking about it from a selection perspective. What does the province want? What do they need? Do they need more labor? Do they need more skilled trades? Do they need more skilled immigrants? Do they need investors? Do they need business owners? So you start dividing things based on the economical aspect of immigration. So a province can say, I want to set up specific immigration programs related to skilled workers. Another province or the same province can say, I also want to have other immigration programs related to the investment aspect of things, or the entrepreneur aspect of things, so it's business immigration. So you have various different kinds of immigration schemes under PNP that allow a candidate to apply for that, and then based on the requirements for that one scheme or one program, they can go ahead and get nominated by the province to immigrate and continue their immigration journey through that PNP program. The next question we received is, do I need to speak English or French to qualify for a PNP program? Now remember, the selection of the candidates is done by the province. So each province, they set up the requirements that they have, or the requirement that they want. Do they want a certain level of English, or do they even have any English requirements? Now, on a federal level, for an example, you can have, CLB 7 when it comes to the Federal Skilled Worker Program, which is the Canadian Language Benchmark Level 7. If you apply for a similar program, which is a skilled worker level, but on a provincial level, then you're looking at, for an example, a province that will say, you know what, I only want CLB 5, not CLB 7. So the selection process and the requirements are based on the province. The province, they set up their requirements, they take that, they go ahead and say, these are my requirements, they select their candidates, and then the candidate can go ahead and proceed with their immigration process with CRC after they receive a certificate of nomination. So the next question that we received is the following. Are there any age restrictions or limits to qualify for PNP programs? Now, similar to language, it's the same concept. The age is going to be determined, or the age limit or restriction is going to be determined by the province. The province will decide the age range, the minimum or the maximum if they have, if any. Now, the majority of the, let's say, the business-based immigration programs or investment-based immigration programs are not really restricted or not really focused on age or the limit of the maximum age of the investor or the business owner to come into that program. Skilled federal workers or skilled worker programs, on the other hand, are usually based on age, education, and other factors. So age could potentially be a requirement for that kind of immigration program under PNP. So it all depends on the scheme that you're going to apply under for PNP and the programs that are going to come in. That will determine if there's going to be an age requirement or not. Now, one point I need to clarify is the following. Children's age. Now, the majority or the federal level requirement is 19. So children under the age of 19 could be included as accompanying or non-accompanying family members in an immigration application or a PNP application. So you need to double check to make sure that the minimum age of the children is the same when it comes to the province that you're going to be applying under, because there are some provinces where they drop these requirements or increase it. It ranges, let's say, from 17, 18, or even 19. So you just need to double check. But then usually from a federal level, it's 19 for the children. Next question that we received is the following. Do I have to hold a diploma or a bachelor or any kind of level of education when it comes to the PNP programs? Once again, the education level is determined by the province, is determined by the requirements for the program you're going to apply under PNP. So if you're applying for a skilled worker program versus a business or business immigration or investment, the level of education is going to vary. But always think about it from this perspective. Canada is looking for the best of the best when it comes to the economic level immigration programs. So for skilled worker programs, the higher your education, the better your chances are of being selected. When it comes to business immigration, or when it comes to, let's say, investment immigration, the government is looking more for business experience or business ownership experience or even management experience when it comes to the scheme that you're going to go under. So when it comes to education, number one, the province will decide their own requirements. Number two, depends on what scheme you're going to go under. That is going to determine the education level that you're supposed to have. Whether it is required or not, that also depends on the requirements of that scheme. The next question is PMP included in express entry? For those of you that don't know what express entry is an online system that was introduced in January of 2015 by the Canadian government to ease the process of applying for specific programs such as the skilled worker, skilled trades, or the Canadian experience class, and in some cases, PMP. So to answer that question, there are some PMP programs included under express entry. Every province is trying to get their systems integrated and available under express entry. So in the near future, maybe we'll see all the PMP programs available under express entry for the economic level immigration classes. But as of today, there's only some PMP programs available under express entry. The next question is, what is the investment amount required for the PMP entrepreneur program or programs? So the province decides on what they're trying to do in terms of the investment and in terms of the net worth. Each province is going to dictate the minimum amount of investment and what the net worth of the individual that's going to be required to apply under the entrepreneur level immigration program in their province. What does that mean? It's a range based on the available PNP programs nowadays. You're looking at anything between 125,000 Canadian to $400,000 Canadian. So this is the range that's currently available for the minimum amount of investment for various immigration, which is the business immigration programs. And let's say in Ontario, you've got British Columbia, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, etc., etc. So there are a lot of PMP programs that allow you to invest through the entrepreneur scheme, and then the minimum amount of investment would range between $125,000 to $125,000 to $400,000. Depends on the province that you're going to be investing in. The next question that we received is the following. What is the difference between the amount of money I have versus net worth? So think about it this way. Your money is part of your net worth. So the cash or the liquid assets that you have today and in your possession, that becomes part of all your net worth. Your net worth includes cash, it includes assets, real estate, properties you own, lands, gold, all the different assets that you have acquired, bonds, stocks if you own them, or whatever it is that you have. You combine it all, and then you start subtracting all the liabilities or the debts that you have. So if you have a mortgage or a bank loan or a business loan or any debt that you have, you take all your assets, you subtract all the debts, and then the final number, that becomes your net worth. Now, your net worth can be accessible to you right away, or you need a period of time for you to access that net worth. You need to sell a piece of land, you have a stock option or whatnot that takes a while for you to liquefy. So then that will determine when you'll be able to have access to it. Now that's very different than liquid assets. Liquid asset is something that you can have access to right away, cash, money in a bank or a deposit, or let's say a stock that you can liquefy or sell within 1 year. Okay. So next question is, if I get selected in a PMP program, what does that mean? So remember that PMP is on a provincial level, meaning the province will select you. Then you need to continue your immigration process with the CIC office. So when you get selected in a PMP program, that means that you have been selected by the province, and the province will issue something called a certificate of nomination. With that certificate of nomination, then you can go ahead and continue your process and then go to the CIC office and apply for your immigration office, for the immigration paperwork for your permanent residency, or for an example, you're going to get a work permit or whatever it is that you're going to be continuing with from that perspective. So the next question that we received is the following. Can I obtain permanent residency if I get selected in a PMP program? The answer is maybe. So based on the scheme that you have entered for whether it's a skilled worker or an investment or a business immigration, so it depends on that scheme. Under the PMP program, you might be eligible to apply for permanent residency. Sometimes the process contains multiple steps. PMP or being selected by a specific province is just a part of this process. So first you need to go to the province, get selected, and then after that you can potentially get the right to apply for a work permit, and then after a few years you can go ahead and apply for your permanent residency. Or in some cases, after being selected by a province, you could potentially apply for permanent residency right away. But usually, the end result of a PMP program or a PMP nomination is to receive permanent residency. So this is the final outcome. This is the last step that you're trying to achieve. It's just a matter of a process and time for you to achieve that last step. You just need to understand the different requirements and regulations that you have to go through when it comes to the PMP program you're applying under. Next question. So how do I apply for a PMP program? Well, there are different ways, but the two most common ones are the following. You either apply directly with the province, so you research the program, you research the province, you know exactly what you want to go under, and you go ahead and apply for that. Or if you're going for a specific scheme, such as the federal skilled worker, or if you're going for the federal skilled trades, or if you're going for, let's say, a CEC scheme, then you can go ahead and apply under express entry. So you can go under express entry, apply on a federal level, and say, I would like to be selected by one specific province or all the provinces that you're interested in, and then you can go ahead and reach your nomination that way. The other method that you can proceed with is to go and apply directly with the province, and then after you get selected from that province, then you can go ahead and continue your process with CIC. So here the determining factor is the scheme that you're going to apply under, and then also the preference that you have in terms of proceeding with your application. Next question is, so can I apply for PMP by myself, or do I need to hire somebody to apply for me? Now, this is the same rule when it comes to all Canadian immigration programs. You don't need to hire somebody to submit your application. The Canadian immigration system is set up for you to be able to apply by yourself and then receive a specific immigration status that you could potentially be entitled for. Hiring a representative or an authorized representative does not give you specific access or a faster way to get things done. What hiring a representative means to you is that you're following the right rules and regulations from an immigration perspective. It means that you might potentially eliminate issues, mistakes, direct or indirect misrepresentation from your side on your application or whatever it is that you're going to be communicating with the immigration office through, and maybe in some cases you might cause yourself some issues because of your lack of understanding to the Canadian immigration system. So it is recommended for you to seek legal consultation. And in some cases, if you're comfortable with somebody representing you and taking over your case, you could potentially hire an authorized representative, but you need to be careful. You have to make sure that the person that you're working with is actually authorized. And I highly recommend that you watch our other show related to authorized representatives of Canada for you to fully understand who can legally represent you and who cannot. There's a lot of fraud, there's a lot of misrepresentation, there's a lot of people that claim to be registered or regulated and they're not. So please watch our authorized representatives show and then better understand your legal rights when it comes to working with an authorized representative. The next question is there a guarantee for applying for a specific PNP program? Well, when it comes to the immigration world, there's no such thing as a guarantee. PNP or any other federal program, nobody can guarantee anything for you. You can't guarantee it, the government can't guarantee it, the province cannot guarantee it. You have to meet certain requirements and obligations, and then after that you have to meet admissibility factors when it comes to the federal level from a security and a health perspective. So all these things are variables. Once you meet all these requirements, you process your application, then and only at the end, you'll be able to know if you have a positive or a negative outcome for your application. So no, there's absolutely no guarantee by anybody for an application that would be submitted in regards to Canadian immigration, whether PNP or not. Next question is the following. Can I apply for PNP from inside or outside Canada? Remember, PNP, province, meaning provincial, meaning you could potentially be inside or outside of Canada to be able to apply. If you're in Canada on a legal status, then you can potentially be able to apply for a PNP program within Canada. So if you're in Canada on a study permit or any other legal status, you apply for PNP, you process your paperwork, you get your nomination certificate, and then after that you can continue the process at a CIC office if that's permitted. If not, you will continue your application from outside Canada at a Canadian consulate or embassy. So you can apply for a PNP program from inside or outside of Canada. Next question we received is, how much does it cost to apply for a PNP program? There is no set number or there's no specific fee when it comes to PNP programs. Every province and every step of the way when it comes to the scheme that you're going to be applying under, there are specific costs associated with that process. Remember that there are 4 entities or 4 groups that could potentially charge you fees, or there's costs associated with that part of the process. There are provincial fees, so fees that you have to pay for the province, part of the PNP program and the application you're going to be submitting. There are government fees related to the CIC office or the right of permanent residency or any applications you submit to the government. There are, let's say, designated entities that could potentially charge you fees related to testing your English, testing your education level and equalizing it with local standards in Canada, checking your net worth and getting some sort of a certified report for your net worth. So these are designated entities by the Canadian government to charge you specific fees. And then the last category of fees that you can pay or could potentially pay is if you choose to hire somebody to give you legal consultation or represent you from an immigration perspective, there are going to be consulting fees or representation fees associated to that. There also could be professional fees related to business consulting or finding a business for you in order for you to apply for an entrepreneur level. So these are the 4 categories that you could expect to be to have charges in, and then from program to program, from province to province, these fees will change. So there is no such thing as a set fee for everything you do. It varies from person to person. And these are the questions that we have answered for the PMP program. I hope this was beneficial to give you a better understanding of what PMP programs are and how they are related to the federal level. We continue to receive more calls. We continue to receive more emails with more questions that are coming in every single day. And then we hope that you continue to communicate with us and let us know what's on your mind for us to be able to answer all your questions and help you with anything related to immigration.